that I was able, or that joined the class last month when I was in person and live streamed, this class will be a little bit more active. This is more of a flow class. The last class was more of a restorative, sort of gentle class. But as with every class that I teach or I guide, I recommend that you really tune into your own body and your own personal experience. And if anything I'm suggesting is painful or is pinchy or unnerving or anything, please back off from that and return to a place that did allow you comfort, because this should not be about discomfort. It should be about experiencing and being present in your body and really feeling what's going on. So if you didn't catch the slight part of the intro, blocks are not required. I do have them. I will cue to them, and I will cue with and without them. If you don't have them, that's fine. If you want to grab a book or a soup can or anything that brings the ground up to you, that's fine. If you don't have them, that's fine as well. You'll work within whatever works for you today. So another thing is, I heard a little of the conversation before the class started, and some folks mentioned kind of some hand tension or hand soreness or shoulder or forearm. So we'll work a little bit with that today, along with working just a little bit with balance, some of the balance components that our bodies have. So hopefully you'll get that out of it and you'll enjoy it. So I invite you to start your practice either seated, an easy seat with your shins crossed, or kneeling like I was just a moment ago. And an easy seat, find yourself in a comfortable seat also if you're choosing to kneel. And we're going to set up foundationally first. Make sure you're firmly rooted on your mat or your practice surface. And then stack your shoulders above your hips. Your ears should be in line with your shoulders, so not forward and not back. So you're just floating above your shoulders. And then allow your chin to be level with the ground. So you may have to look up just a little or look down. And then shrug your shoulders once up towards your ears, and then bring them back behind you to kind of rest in if you were wearing jeans or back pockets. And allow your hands to rest naturally on your legs wherever they land. It's about your body's experience. And if your experience looks different than mine, that is perfectly fine. That's what it should be doing. And then if it is comfortable for you without causing any dizziness, close your eyes. And take a moment to tune into the space that surrounds you. Maybe if you're outdoors, you've got some beautiful sounds of nature. If you're indoors, some of the sounds in the space you're in. Just becoming present and becoming aware of where you are at this moment. And allow your breath to be normal. Don't do anything to change it. Just notice that it's there. Oftentimes we go throughout the day not noticing our breath. So this is our chance to feel. Bring your awareness now onto your mat or whatever practice surface you're on this evening. And notice your points of contact with your mat. Maybe your ankles, your shins, tops of your feet, depending on how you're sitting. And then notice any sensations in your body, any soreness, any stiffness, without labeling or judging, just noticing, becoming aware. And let's bring a little bit more awareness to our breath. Let's take a nice deep inhale to the count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause at the top when you are completely full. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, with a pause at the bottom. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, with a pause. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, and pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and pause. Last cycle through as a group. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. And allow your breathing to return to its normal pace. And I challenge or recommend you give yourself permission to allow your exhales to allow your body to soften just a little bit more. Taking a few more cycles through. At your own pace. If your eyes are closed, gently flutter your eyes open and welcome in the light of the space you're in. Continuing to breathe. And on your next inhale, allow your arms to come wide, rise all the way up overhead, palms touch. And on your exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, arms wide, rise, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more inhale, reach up, nice and tall through the spine. And on this exhale, we'll take a twist to the right. Right hand to the right hip, left hand to the right knee. And on your inhale, get very tall in your spine. Double check your alignment. Shoulders over knees, ears in line with shoulders. And your glance will be forward of heart center or belly button center. So you're not glancing over that right arm. You're looking forward. So you're getting into your shoulder a little bit. Inhales get taller through the spine. Exhales engage deeper in the twist. Engaging that front hand, that left hand on that right leg. And breathe. On your next inhale, arms reach up overhead, get very tall in the side body. Exhale, twisting to the left, left hand to left hip, right hand to left leg. Inhale, getting tall, checking your alignment, adjusting as you need, and exhaling, engaging deeper in your twist. And then check as you twist that your right leg does not rise off of your mat. If it ends up doing that, back off just a little bit so you can keep this in your spine and in your shoulder. Keep that as an upper body movement. On your next inhale, both arms reach up overhead. Exhale, we'll take a side bend to the right. Right hand to left hip. Inhale, reaching that left arm up overhead. And exhale, leaning toward that right side. Keeping your gaze forward. So your spine is in kind of a curve or a straight line from your neck down to your hips. And that top arm is nice and active to get a nice side body stretch on that left side. And breathe. Next, inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, side bending to the left, left hand to left hip. Inhaling that right arm up overhead first. Exhaling, engaging in that side bend, glancing forward. And breathing. We'll turn this into a little bit of a flow. On that inhale, right arm reaches up overhead. Exhale, lean forward, and then inhale your left arm up. Getting into the shoulders a little bit of the back. Exhale, switching to the other side a couple times through, a little bit of shoulder, low back movement. The more active you keep those hands, the deeper you lengthen into that side body, that shoulder. And that's all me on a side bend to the left. Next, inhale, both arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center. And then land your palms on your thighs or your knees. We'll take a few shoulder rolls. And your inhale, reach your shoulders forward, up towards your ears, back and down. Going through a few times. This is the time where we get to shrug our shoulders up to our ears. And then if you've gone through a few times, change directions, engage back first and up and forward. Working with your breath, making these as large or as small as you would like. Going through one more full cycle, land with your palms on your legs. Next inhale, arms come wide, rise up overhead. On your exhale, we will take a seated forward fold, hands through heart center, leaning forward, 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 and then down and reach your arms out in front of you. Shoulder stretch, low back, maybe hips. And double check that your ears are in line with your shoulders. So your head isn't drooping down, it's just in alignment. You may notice a difference in your spine when you make an adjustment, if you are looking up or looking down too severely. And breathing. Taking one more cycle through, and then inhale, rise back to easy seat. I am going to rock forward to a kneeling position. If you are kneeling, stay exactly where you are. If seated works best for you, stay seated. I'm only rocking for a demo, and I'm going to make it into a kneeling position for the next part of the practice, but you can do it seated. So once you find yourself adjusting or staying where you are, check your alignment with your shoulders and your hips and your ears. And then inhale, arms come wide, rise, exhale, hands through heart center, and then bring your arms long in front of you. I'm going to dial them out to a little bit. You should be about shoulder height, shoulder width. I'm moving them out so you can see. And then dial your left palm down, your fingers of your left hand down. You should be able to see that part. And we're going to bring in a little bit of a forearm stretch and then a little bit of a finger stretch. So taking the hand, the opposite hand, in my case, it's the right hand, reach for your thumb. Pull your thumb out and then down, a little bit of a thumb stretch. Hopefully you will be able to see this. I think this will be the best angle because it's dark. It's against a dark background. Breathing a few times and only work the stretch to what works best for you. If it's into the wrist a little bit, the forearm, the hand. Switch to the first finger, pointer finger. So reach that out toward or away from you and then down. Very gentle. As you work this through and as you breathe, you'll notice that you might be able to deepen the stretch just a little. Might be a different angle. Middle finger out and then down. And stay strong in that arm so the elbow is not bending. It's just reaching forward. Ring finger out and down. Breathing. And then pinky finger out and then down. Your next inhale, hands come again to heart center. And then take a basket grip with your fingers. So intertwine your fingers. And we're going to take figure eights to get a little bit of wrist movement. So naturally, you're going to choose either direction. So just very gently work your wrist. Slowly, slowly, and gently. Getting in a little bit deeper in the forearm and the wrist, maybe your fingers. Pause for a moment at center and then change directions. So whatever direction you engaged in first, engage that second. Change if you want clockwise, go counterclockwise. Pausing at center, taking that all onto the opposite side. For me, it is the right hand. Reach the right hand forward. Dial your fingers to face the ground, so your palm will be facing out. And then we'll work on that thumb first. So inhale, reaching that thumb out and then down. First finger or pointer finger out and down. And you may notice that one of your hands or arms is tighter than the other hand. And it's not always your dominant hand. Just something to notice. Middle finger out and down. Bring that hand shoulder height. And ring finger out and down. And then pinky out and down. When we're stretched before we move on, inhale, hands again to heart center. And then take the opposite or the back of the right hand to the mat with the left hand flat on top of it. A little more wrist work, just a little bit of movement here. Gets a little more into the shoulder. And you get to choose if you want to go side to side, figure eights, forward and back. Next, inhale, hands come back to heart center and switch to the opposite side from my hand. For me, it's the back of the left hand, top of the right. And breathe. On your next inhale, hands come to heart center, and then make your way into a tabletop. I'm going to place my knee pad down. I'm also going to spin to face the other direction so you can see from the side. And take a few moments here to get set up properly. So proper setup for a tabletop or a quadruped would be wrists under elbows, under shoulders, knees under hips, looking down on your mat, and your toes can be either curled under or on the shoelace side. You'll have a little bit of an ab engagement. So on your next inhale, bring your hips back to the right, back to the back of your mat. Exhale to the left and return to center. Taking a few hip circles in the right direction to the right. Also getting a little into your shoulders, depending on how active you are with your hands. And then change directions when you're ready and engage to the left, back, right, and center. Maintaining a downward glance and a slight engagement in the abs. Just getting a little bit into your hips. Pause here at center. On your next inhale, float your toes to the mat on your right foot, welcoming in a calf stretch, a little bit of forward and back movement. Just to wake up those calves. Pause at center. On your next inhale, float your right foot hip height, dial your toes to face the mat. Looking down on your mat, inhale, reaching your left arm forward. Find your balance. And your next inhale, reach your hand forward, your foot back. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach front and back. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more inhale, reach. And on this exhale, your palm and your knee meet the mat for cat-cow. And on your inhale, we'll bring a little spinal movement in here. Raise your hips, drop your belly, shine your heart forward, look forward. And on your exhale, curl your spine, tuck your hips, tuck your chin, and actively push the mat away, cat pose. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And I invite you here to close your eyes if it is comfortable for you. and add in anything that might feel really good in these spinal movements. Maybe you wag your tail a little bit. Maybe you take torso rolls, barrel rolls. Does not have to be a yoga pose. It should be what you need this evening. Take one more full cycle through. We will all meet in neutral. On your next inhale, the toes of your left foot, find the mat for that calf stretch, welcoming you some forward and back rocks very gently. Just waking up that calf. On your next inhale, float your left foot hip height, dial your toes to face the mat. Look down, find your balance. On your next inhale, your right arm reaches forward, thumb spins to face the sky. Inhale, reach front and back, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee, curling your spine like that cat pose. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more inhale, reach. On this exhale, right palm meets the mat, left knee meets the mat. We'll take one cat-cow just for a reset. Let's all take a child's pose. Knees mat's width distance, toes touch, sink your hips back toward the back of the mat, arms long in front of you. And this is where a block may come in, or a book or anything like that. If you're not easily reaching your mat with your forehead, you can rest your forehead on a block or any sort of leveling surface, a book or anything. Maybe even a folded up towel. Some way where your neck can get some relief. And breathe. Know that child's pose is always here for you in your practice. You can come here at any point if you would like to rest or check in. On your next inhale, float back to that tabletop. On your exhale, curl your toes under and then float your hips toward the sky for downward facing dog. And take a few moments here to acclimate to being in an inversion. So maybe you wag your tail, maybe you walk your dog, spread your fingers nice and wide, and then release your head from your shoulders. Make sure you're not scrunching your shoulders towards your ears. And breathe. Come to stillness in your down dog. And on your next inhale, float to your tippy toes, walk to the front of your mat for a forward fold. And in this forward fold, welcome a nice deep bend in your knees. And if you'd like to try ragdoll, opposite hand can come to opposite elbow, allow your head to dangle. A nice spinal decompression. Maybe you're swaying a little bit side to side, just feeling what's going on in your hips, in your low back. If you've taken the bind, switch your hands to the opposite hand, to the opposite elbow, and breathe. Release your hands toward the mat, or this is another place if you'd like to bring in blocks to bring the ground a little closer to you. Inhale to a flat back. So your back is level or parallel with the ground. Your hands can be rested on the ground. They could be on the shins or on your thighs. And then exhale, deeper forward fold. On your next inhale, rise all the way up to extended mountain. I'm going to dial to face you just for demo purposes. And on your exhale, simple twist to the right. Right hand back, left hand forward, chin parallel with the horizon. And then right hip comes forward, left hip comes back. Breathe. Taking this back to extended mountain, right arm up and reach all the way up. Exhale, simple twist to the left. Left hand back, right hand forward. Arms parallel with the horizon. Ears floating over shoulders. And then bring that left hip forward and then right hip back. Deepening the twist. And breathe. Next inhale, left arm reaches back down around extended mountain. I'm going to spin to face the front. On your exhale, chair pose, bending at the ankles, bending at the knees, hinging at the hips, arms reaching forward. If this is too intense, hands can come to hips. Check your spinal alignment so that you're not looking too far up or too far down. Holding for one more full breath cycle. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Extended mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center. Hinge at the hips first, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to mat, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee toward your nose, and then land your foot between your hands or wiggle your foot so it is between your hands. Another option for blocks to frame your front foot. Inhale your left foot forward, but place it behind your right. So you're in kind of a tandem. So you've got your right foot in front and then your left foot behind. Take a nice micro bend in that back knee, that left knee, so you're not hyperextending the knee. Your next inhale, flat back, hands to hips, a little bit of balance challenge here. Next inhale, rise, another balance challenge. Take a steeple grip with your fingers. Inhale, reach up toward the sky. On your exhale, lean toward the right side. Side bend, balance challenge. Breathe. Inhale, arms up overhead, left foot in line with right. So your feet should be under your hips. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, chair pose. Holding the chair pose for one breath cycle. Inhale, reach overhead. Hold for the exhale. Your next inhale, left foot steps back, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold, hands to blocks or the mat. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee toward nose, land your foot between your hands or wiggle your foot so it is between your hands. Inhale your right foot forward so your right foot is behind your left. Micro bend in that right knee. Inhale, flat back, hands to hips. Holding for the exhale. Engage the abs in lower body. Inhale, rise all the way. Kind of an extended mountain, but your feet are in tandem. Steeple grip with your hands. Exhale, leaning toward the left side, side bend. Inhale, unwinding your feet so they're underneath your hips. Hands reach up overhead, extended mountain. Exhale, chair, hold for a breath cycle. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, right foot back, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to heart center, forward fold, hands to blocks or the mat. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we will go through that flow 2 more times, adding on little pieces here and there. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee toward nose, land your foot between your hands. Inhale, left leg forward behind your right. Next inhale, hands to hips. And your spine should be level with your mat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, leaning toward the right side, bend. Inhale, unwinding, extended mountain. Exhale, chair pose. If you want to add on here, rise to your tippy toes. Inhale, rise to extended mountain. Exhale, shift your weight to your right hand, right foot, one-legged mountain, left leg high. Exhale, crescent lunge. Inhale, reach, arms up toward the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart center, hands to blocks or mat. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee toward nose, land your foot between your hands. Inhale, right leg forward, feet are stacked one in front of the other. Inhale, hands to hips, spine level with the mat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lean toward the left side, side bend. Inhale, unwinding, feet should be under hips. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise to your tippy toes if you would like. Exhale, heels to mat. Inhale, rise to extended mountain. Inhale, right leg high, one-legged mountain. Exhale, right leg back, crescent lunge. Inhale, reach up toward the sky. Exhale, hands to block or mat. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Last time through, inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, right foot between your hands. Inhale, left leg forward, hold for the exhale. Inhale, hands to hips, spine level with the ground. Next, inhale, rise. Exhale, side bending to the right. Inhale, back to center, hands under hips. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise to your tippy toes if you'd like. And on your next exhale, heels to mat, rise to extended mountain. Inhale, left leg high. Adding on here, exhaling, tree pose if you would like. A little more balance. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Exhale, crescent lunge. One more add on here. Inhale, reach those arms out nice and wide. Open up, take up a lot of space. Look up. Inhale, both arms high, crescent lunge. Exhale, palms to blocks or mat. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Last time through, last leg. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, land that foot between your hands. Inhale, back foot forward. So your feet are in that tandem position. Inhale, spine to mat. Spine parallel with the mat, hands to hips. Next, inhale, rise. Exhale, leaning toward the left side. Inhale, unwind, hands under hips. Exhale, chair pose, sit down in that chair. Inhale, rise to your tippy toes. A little balance there as well. Exhale, heels to mat. Rise all the way up to extended mountain. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Exhale, adding on tree if you would like. Inhale, one-leg mountain. Exhale, crescent lunge. Open up on the inhale, arms come wide, look up toward the ceiling. And breathe. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee toward right elbow and land your foot to the outside of your right hand. I'm going to replace my block so you can see. We're working our way here into lizard lunge. You may want or need to pad your left knee. Gently land your left knee on your mat, curl onto the shoelace side of that left foot. And this might be the hip stretch you're looking for today in your right side. If not, you can bring in blocks to place underneath your hands. I'll show you with one block. Wiggle that right foot forward to the right front corner of your mat. Additional add-on if you want to curl onto the pinky toe edge of that right foot. Find your hip opening. It's your practice, so you get to choose. Additional option in the lizard lunge, if you would like, you can work onto your forearms. A lot of different options. So find what works for you in your body tonight. And if you go somewhere that simply becomes too uncomfortable, return to a place that worked for you. Taking 2 more rest cycles. If you are on the pinky toe edge, begin to work onto the sole of that right foot. Then wiggle that right foot closer toward the center of your mat. Inhale your right hand to the outside of your right foot. We're working into half split. So work your way toward the back of your mat. And then slowly, 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 you'll start to begin to feel a hamstring stretch on the right. Another option here for blocks. You can frame your front leg with your blocks. Point or flex your front foot, whatever works best for you. There's no right or wrong. And then think of bringing your right hip back just 1 more centimeter and your left hip forward. Notice how that changes the stretch. And breathe. Optional here to work a little bit into the IT band by working your weight of both hands to the outside of your right leg. This might also get into the left hip a little. And if this doesn't work, go back to that half split we were in just a moment ago. Breathe. If you've taken the IT band or outer hip stretch, inhale to reach that left hand across and over to the inside of the right leg. Frame your front foot. And then we're going to work our way out of this nice and slow. If you're on the heel of your right foot, land your weight on the foot or the ball under, actually the flat foot of the right foot. Inhale, curl your back toes under, raise to runner's lunge or rise. I'm going to set my blocks off to the side for just a moment. Hands to mat. Inhale, right leg high, 3-legged dog. And on this exhale, bend that right knee and then spin those hips open just a little bit. Think of stacking your right hip on top of your left. And bring some movement into that hip. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, left leg high, 3-legged dog. On your exhale, left knee toward left elbow. And then land the foot to the outside of your left hand. Option for bringing the blocks or any sort of prop that you may have to the inside of your right foot, left foot. And land your right knee on your mat, curl onto the shoelace side of your right foot. And then work your way into whatever version of lizard works for you on the left side. Maybe you wiggle that left foot a little closer toward the front of your mat. Maybe you're on the pinky toe edge of that left foot. Find your version for your practice. And breathe. Checking with your shoulders. Make sure you're not shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears so you're not holding tension in that space. And slowly make our way into half split. So wiggle that or heel toe that left foot closer to the center. Bring your left foot to the outside of your left hand. So your hands will frame your front foot. I'm placing my blocks off to the side just for demo. And work your way toward the back of your mat. Hamstring stretch on the left. Pointer flex your foot. And the last adjustment, if you need to make it, you'll know right away, is to bring your right hip forward, your left hip back. And breathe. You want to come along and work the IT band just a little bit. Inhale your right hand up and over your left, so both of your hands are to the outside of your left foot, left leg. Breathe. And your next inhale, right arm reaches up and over, framing your front foot. Work our way out of half split by landing the sole of our left foot on the mat if it is not there already. Hands to mat. Curl your right toes under, raise to runner's lunge. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, bending the left knee, opening your hips. Stacking your left hip on top of your right and bringing some movement into that left hip. Whatever movement feels good to you. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, float up to a high plank, holding for a breath cycle here. And gently allow your knees to land on your mat, curl onto the shoelace side, then your belly. And then land on your forearm side. Land on your forearms. Let me move my mic out of the way so you can see. And we're moving into Sphinx pose here. So in Sphinx pose, your elbows should be under your shoulders. Your wrist should be aligned with your elbows. And your fingers should be spread nice and wide. Shoelace side of your feet. So you're actively pushing into the shoelace side of your feet. And then you're looking down toward the center front of your mat. It's a little bit of a back bend. So opportunity here, if you'd like to get a little bit of a shoulder stretch, is to allow your chest or your heart center to kind of melt toward your mat. So your shoulder blades might be coming a little bit closer together. And last option, if you'd like, is to allow the crown of your head to sink toward your mat. Nice opening in your cervical spine and your shoulders. A little bit of a release for your low back. If you have chosen the kind of more relaxed version of Sphinx, inhale, bring your ears in line with your shoulders first, and then raise your shoulders back to normal Sphinx. Then we'll take crocodile pose. Forearms parallel with the front edge or the short edge of your mat. One palm stacked on top of the other. And then rest your forehead on your top hand. And breathe. Bend your knees. Windshield wiper your feet side to side. A little bit of release for your low back. Gently land the shoelace side of your feet on the mat. And then we'll take half frog. So on your next inhale, I'm going to work with my left leg first. I'm inhaling my knee so it's about hip height. And then my ankle should be underneath my knee.
little bit of a hip opener. And maybe you rest your opposite cheek on the back of your hand. And breathe. Very gently work your way back to crocodile by aligning both of your legs on your mat. And we'll take half frog on the opposite side. For me, it's the right side. On my next inhale, I'm going to bring my right knee in alignment with my hip. My ankle underneath in alignment with my knee, so it's a 90-degree bend. And maybe you look over to the opposite side to give your neck a stretch on the opposite side. And breathe. You need to work your way out of your half frog. So work your leg back in alignment with your hip. And then make your way onto your back. There's no really easy way to get there. Just roll over onto your back. I'm going to move my knee pad out of the way. When you've arrived here, inhale your right knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze and bring some circles into those hips or into that right hip. And then we'll turn this into a twist. So bring your right knee across your body to the left, all the way across or wherever it lands. Another optional block or book placement would be underneath that right leg at any point and at any height. When you've arrived, arms tee out to the left and right, making sure your right shoulder is still planted on your mat. And glance up toward the ceiling or the sky, wherever you're practicing from. And maybe you close your eyes here for a moment. And you breathe and check in. As we unwind from this twist, we're going to turn this into a supine version of tree pose. We did standing tree, we'll do supine. So on your next inhale, begin to unwind, but land the sole of that right foot to the inside of that left thigh. And then gently allow that right knee to fall over to the right side. So like tree pose, but lying down. And then choose the option with your hands you'd like. Maybe you take prayer, hands to heart center, maybe arms reach up overhead. But wherever you are, breathe and pause. Use your right hand to gently nudge your right leg back to center, give it an assist, and allow that right leg to come long on your mat, taking a moment to just notice the difference between the sides. Your next inhale, left knee comes in for a squeeze. Begin to rock that leg side to side a little bit, getting into that left hip a little bit deeper. And when you're ready, pause and turn this into a twist. Left knee comes across the body to the right. Option for a block underneath that left leg at any point. Beyond the calf, it can be on the thigh. And then arms come out to the left and right, gaze toward the sky. Breathing. Beginning to unwind from that twist. Left leg comes across the body. And then land the sole of that left foot to the inside of the right thigh, landing your left knee out to the left side. Supine tree. Maybe you choose a different arm position in this tree. Maybe you use an overhead position, maybe take prayer. Maybe your arms are alongside your body. And begin to unwind from your tree. Use your left hand to gently work your left knee back to center. And bring both knees in for a squeeze. Rock a little bit side to side. A little bit of knee circles, a little bit of low back release. And then take a moment to get set up in your version of Shavasana. In traditional Savasana, legs are long on your mat. Arms are alongside your body. Arms are dialed up to face the sky. And allow your feet to splay out to the edges of your mat. Take a moment to get very comfortable. Adjust any clothing that needs to be adjusted. And give yourself permission to switch from doing into being. Take a moment to very slowly scan all of the points of contact you have with your mat, depending on your own Shavasana. And allow each exhale to allow you to soften just a little bit more. If you find your mind beginning to be active or wander, as healthy minds do, come back to the sensation of your breath.
Before opening your eyes, think of the sensation of movement and consider how that would feel. While keeping your eyes closed, welcome tiny movements within your fingers, wiggle your toes. Circle your ankles, circle your wrists. And then very gently nod your head side to side. On your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead, reaching up to the right and to the left. And then make your way onto your favorite side, curled into a tiny ball. Using your bicep of your lower arm as a pillow or a block or any other prop you have. And recognize from this place of stillness the shift that's occurred as a result of your practice. Thank yourself for taking the time for your practice and giving yourself permission to be present. And using as little energy as possible, make your way to a seated position in whatever direction you choose. Coming back to our place of origin, how we started our practice. Inhale, hands come to heart center. The knuckles to third eye center, space between your brows. And with gratitude for the opportunity to come together in practice. Namaste. Thank you everyone for taking time and joining me, either live or recorded. And if you have any questions, comments, feedback, I'll be around. And I hope to see you. August 11th is my next class. My name is Laura.